Fight!
Welcome back to Is It Still Good? And this time I'm really excited. I have another versus battle for you guys. I've been getting a lot of great suggestions for versus battles. High Fidelity versus Empire Records. These are two films in a similar vein, and it begged a versus battle. But first, let's sell you guys some books. Okay, hopefully you bought some books. We're going to get right into it now. There's really no reason to delay. High Fidelity. I'm going to start with High Fidelity, and we're going to go into Empire Records. Then I'm going to tell you who I think wins the versus battle. How's that? High Fidelity came out in 2000, rated R, runs 1 hour, 53 minutes, a little bit on the longer side if you ask me. That being said, quality film. I'm actually pretty surprised. I just rewatched it. I wanted to record this while it was fresh in me mind, up in the grape. So let's get into it. It was directed by Stephen Frears. It was written by Nick Hornby and D.V. DeVincentis and Steve Pink. Stars John Cusack, Iben Hadjil, Todd Luiso, Jack Black's in it, Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it, Tim Robbins is in it, Joan Cusack, Lisa Bonet, Lily Taylor. I don't know, it's got a pretty stacked cast actually. Sarah Gilbert from Roseanne. A lot of people are in this. I'm not going to put pictures of every face, because that's a lot of editing. We want to make this quick and easy. We had a slight break from the channel because I was a little burnt on making these videos, but I've watched some good movies recently, and I'm itching to talk about them. So, High Fidelity. What's the deal with High Fidelity? I watched this many years ago, came out in 2000, I was 20 years old, and I liked it. I've always liked High Fidelity, and John Cusack, although he was mean to me on Twitter once, pretty funny. I was actually taking his side in an argument, and somebody was being rude to him, and I said, hasn't this guy seen Con Air? Apparently John Cusack hates Con Air, and he barked at me a little bit on Twitter. This was years ago, but I don't blame him for that. I was a faceless dude. I don't think he realized I was trying to help him either. But I do like him as an actor, and I really liked him in like 1408, Say Anything, you know, old movie, and a few others. But in this, he's the leading man, he drives the whole story, and I started watching it with the idea that it might annoy me being fourth wall breaking all the time. I know, I'm one to talk. Having written Unkillable Joe, it's all fourth wall breaking. But in a lot of movies, breaking the fourth wall can really suck. And I'm pleased to report in High Fidelity, it makes the whole film. Getting his thoughts on each incident in his life really does help you understand the character in this case very, very well. The supporting cast is excellent. His two buddies, Jack Black and the other guy, are excellent. The supporting cast and characters that they meet are excellent. Tim Robbins is a terrific douchebag. And the longer I watched this film, the further I got into it, especially heading towards the second act, it hit me like an arrow. I am John Cusack in this film. I hate to put it that way, but I have so much in common with him. And at 42, I just went through this contacting ex's phase, right? There's 3 or 4 of them I spoke to, almost like identical scenario. And one by one, I felt better and better. I got closure on each one, you know, for various reasons. Some I realized I hurt them rather than the other way around. And I kind of corrected that in my head, you know, issued my apologies where applicable. But others, I sort of realized, like, what am I sad about? This person turned into something I wouldn't even want to date now. So it's very cathartic for me, you know? I don't know. And there was a wide range of reasons, too. Anywhere from lack of ambition. You know, if they're still doing the same thing as when I was dating them many years ago, it's a huge turnoff. If we're still arguing about the same things and they haven't evolved in that way, that's a huge turnoff. Physically, I may not be as attracted anymore. I know that sounds shallow, but it's part of it. It's part of dating, right? So this movie really goes through that. And I loved it. I had a great time. So for me, it hit perfectly. And I thought it was clever. I absolutely adore the way the characters viewed music and musicians. As a musician, it's so flattering when people view your music in this higher elevated, you know, way of looking at it. And I really miss like old school record shops where you could like find a band that nobody's ever heard of and you can share that with somebody. I really miss making girls mixtapes.
Now, the making of a good compilation tape is a very subtle art. Many do's and don'ts.
That used to be like one of the most romantic parts of the 90s, was making a girl a mixtape. It was so nice. And you can always tell the girls that really weren't worth your time because they wouldn't even listen, you know? Because music speaks so loudly for us. To make somebody a mixtape took time. You'd had to pick the perfect songs for the moment, and you had to put them all together, and then your handwriting had to be a certain way, and you wrote a little note with it, and it was a really special thing giving a girl a mixtape. And I feel bad for the newer generations. You guys don't have that. It was kind of special, you know? It's like things have changed, and that's okay, but this movie was sort of a breath of fresh air. It was sort of like the last gasp of like romanticism in music. I love the way that they speak about bands and artists in general and how music helps them through this or that. I love how John Cusack's character is reorganizing his record collection autobiographically by when he purchased the records and got them. That's such a novel idea to strengthen your memory and make it personal, you know? I was laughing at how like dumb I am. I mean, this really pointed out how dumb I've been in the past, in a really cute way that is sort of identifiable. Like, yes, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but like, it makes sense, you know? And I think they did a great job. So let me give this a number score real quick. I'm not gonna harp on it too much, but this is a fantastic movie in my opinion. I gave it 8 out of 10. This is an 8 out of 10. Okay, that's a solid film. It's a good watch. If you're over the age of 35, you're gonna absolutely love it. If you're younger, you'll probably like it. So put it that way. Now, we have to compare High Fidelity to Empire Records. They're in a similar vein. They exalt music. It's part of the industry. It's, you know, an angsty kind of thing, you know? So, what do I think of Empire Records? Well, see my review on it. 5.5 out of 10, this movie sucks. End of review. Okay, High Fidelity wins by a mile. By an easy, clear mile. So, if you were a little disappointed by my review on Empire Records, it's okay. Go watch High Fidelity. It'll make up for it. It's a great movie. It crushes Empire Records. Case closed. End of versus battle. I'll see you guys next time on Is It Still Good?